What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the M.A.D podcast. I am your host, Christopher, and welcome back to season 2. We're going to be doing some good stuff, doing some new things today, and you can see I got my guest, Kevin, here. We're going to be going into some fun things, so let's get right into it. Yeah, let's have some fun. Yeah. You ready to have some fun?
Let's do it.
Well, as you guys can see, I'm recording video. Might look a little tacky with one microphone. I was having some problems, but just making it work, right? All right, so I got my friend Kevin here, my boy Kevin. What it do, Kevin?
Hello, everyone. As Chris said, my name is Kevin. We've known each other for years now, many years.
Yeah, it's been a while, bro. It's been like probably like 9, almost 10 years actually. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's been a journey, but here we are. We're still friends. It's crazy how we're still here together, and it's always a blessing to have somebody close.
Yeah, exactly. And so close that I can just use your microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you guys listening too. Today we're just gonna be talking about a few things. First and foremost, Kevin, or some of us would call him Brownie. Not racist at all. We just call him Brownie. That's just his nickname. What you been doing in this off time?
For me lately, ever since I finished my degree in college, I just been working at home, and as we know, there's this whole year with COVID and many other situations going on today in the world. So I just been home, working from home. Whenever I do not do work, I do some type of workout, some type of exercise. Obviously, just do some Bible studies and play video games on the side and hang out with some friends whenever I have the time.
That's cool. So you finished? Oh yeah, you just graduated about a month ago. Congrats to you, boy.
Thank you.
What did you study again? What did you get a degree for?
I got a degree in finance in the College of Business of UCF.
Damn, bro. So I need you the next time you were with me too. Next time I go to a dealership, you got to be with me, so you can help me out there. Yeah. Just make sure that they don't cut me out, cheat me out the next time. I went to the dealership to get we were going to get a new car for my wife, and such a long process. We were there for literally 5 hours. It was so funny because you could tell the kind of people that were there, and I just remember I knew what the prices were. I knew everything. I did research and everything, and I knew, like, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna get cheated out today. Like, I'm leaving with this price. And I remember the guy that was with us, he showed us a paper and he was like, yep, so this is gonna be the final price. I was like, yeah, that's not right. And then we were like, I remember we were going like back and forth because he would like bring out. I think the funniest part was when we were telling him, it was like, well, this is the price on Kelley Blue Book. This is what like the car is valued, like what the actual value of the car is. And then he walked away and he got this paper. Do you remember what that paper was?
It was like some rough estimate of the amount, how much you'll have the car plus the warranties, and it showed a detail, quote unquote, detail on your monthly payments based on your interest and the month and the amount of month.
It was like he got it from like some kind of website. You remember, I think it was like M.A.D or something like that. It was like, oh, this is like the official, like out the door with the car's value, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember like, what was it, like you looked it up or something, because it said like a specific value on there.
Oh yeah, it had like a value, and he found that on the website. However, when we looked it up online, it was like 1,000 or a few more less than what he had on the paper.
Yeah. And I remember, and I was like, I remember looking at it, I was like, yo, what's this guy doing, bro? And I think what was the most annoying part was that they were so adamant on getting us that warranty, they kept saying, oh no, the reason the car is this price is because of the warranty. And I'm just like, no, that's just the value of the car with or without warranty. And then, bro, I told them, I was like, literally, like, We're not trying to haggle the price. All we're looking for is like literally, if you just take off that warranty, we're good. We'll leave it with whatever the final price is. If you just take off that warranty. And then this guy, I remember telling him, he was like, so you want to take off the warranty? And I was like, yes, I want to take off the warranty. He looked at me and he was like, why? And I was like, because we don't need that. And like I'm pretty sure it's like some kind of deal that they have or something that where they get like commission or something from that. That's why they were like, bro, like they didn't want to take that for anything. And I remember we were leaving, we got in the car and everything, we were getting ready to leave. The guy comes up to the door, he's like, what about if we drop it at this price? And I was like, let me see. So then we go inside, and then I said another price to bring it down even more. Yeah. And I told them, I was like, literally, like they could have just taken off the warranty and they would have been the exact same price.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's how they are. That's why, you know, you got to really know what to do, because if you don't, you know, they're going to try to take advantage and manipulate you. And especially when you're inside the financial manager, that's when it gets a little more hectic.
Yeah. And that's when I noticed that even though they brought down the price of the car, even though like with the salesman, when he brought down the price and he said, yeah, this is going to be the final price, blah, blah, blah. Then we end up with the finance manager, and we went through the whole process, got the car and everything, and then I looked through the paperwork and I realized we ended up just overpaying pretty much what we were gonna pay initially. So they pretty much like tweaked the numbers afterwards when we weren't like paying attention. Like when we were with the finance manager, I was like, "Yo, are you serious?" I was like, "The next time I go." And like we gotta go, and I'm gonna go ready. Like I'm gonna be like a nice guy. I'm just be like, yeah, what's up, guys? How's it going? Yeah, and yeah. I'm not gonna cheat him today. All right, I want you guys to know that you're not gonna cheat me today. That's like and I wanted to get a new car too. Like after that, I was like, oh, I want to get a new car. Bro, like you noticed too. We went out to eat after that, bro, and I was just like thinking of numbers the whole time. In my head, I was just like, yo, bro, like, I was like, damn, bro, like calculating this. I was like, damn, bro, I should have brought it down a little bit more. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a car for a while. At least for me, I was like, I'll push my car until it dies, pretty much. And, when it dies on me, then I'll get another car, pretty much.
Yeah, that was definitely a journey. Even for myself, you know, I learned my lesson my first car. Everybody has to learn some type of lesson, especially when it comes to buying your own car. You know, you never know what to expect. You know, you're new to everything, and it's to the beginning. You know, you just learn from your mistakes and, you know, move on.
Yep, and like I definitely learned, because my first car, when I bought my very first car, I'm on my second car right now. When I bought my first car, I'll never forget, because I was young and naive. Literally all the prerequisites to getting a good deal for a salesman, and I'll never forget. I showed up to the dealership with my dad. And my dad was like, oh, you want a car? And then the sales guy was like, I got the car for you. And it shows me like pretty much this almost brand new car. And then I sit in it and I drive it, like just do a quick little drive. And then I come back. And my dad was like, why don't we go home, maybe talk it over, see, you know, if maybe we can afford it, see what we can work out. And me being young and dumb, I was like, nah, I want to leave with this today. Today's the day. Today's the day to leave with this car. I see myself already in this car. And I bought that car and realized I was going to end up paying like 18% interest for that car. Wow. I was like, oh my gosh. And then it ended up being a blessing in disguise when I ended up getting that car totaled. I was like, thank God for that. I was like, yeah, never again. And I made sure any other experience, the second time I bought a car, and then when we went to buy my wife's car, I was like, no, I got to make sure that I'm not going to get cheated again. I was like, I'm going to make sure I'm patient and that I understand, and that you all understand that it's okay to leave and say no and just leave and be okay with it. Just be okay with it. Just say no and leave. Literally, we did that. And then the salesperson ran out. I was like, oh, yo, we'll drop the price. So literally, that's the key. Just learn to say no. Learn to be patient. And then see what happens. And if it goes through, it goes through. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Exactly.
So, but you said you went in for finance. What made you want to do finance?
Well, I've been wanting to do finance since I was young. Since I was in middle school, actually. I always loved numbers. Numbers was my thing. I always excelled in math in general. So I always wanted to do something that relied with numbers. You know, if it was engineering, if it was statistics, computer engineering, any type of numbers in general. So What made me think about business mainly was my family. My grandfather owns businesses in Dominican Republic.
Yo, what is that, bro? What's up with like Dominicans like having like all these businesses and stuff? Like not my dad. My dad's biggest thing was just drive. My dad has driven all his life. I don't know what it is. Like like Dominicans, they just have all these businesses and everything. Like they just it's with. There's two main things that Dominicans like you'll know them for is it's like businesses and then music. For some reason, there's just music in all of our blood. For some reason, like I remember seeing a picture of me being like 3 or 4 years old, and I had a freaking, I forgot what that's called. The guida just playing that. Being, I was just born with music in me. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, that's how my family is. Business and music. My dad's, from what everybody seems to say and what I see as well, it's a musical genius. He's always been around music. Same thing with his brothers and sisters, and as well as business. Like I said, my grandfather owned businesses, etc. So, when it comes to that, I just pursued finance. Why? Because that revolved around business and numbers as well. And on top of that, how to manage money. You'll know how to manage any type of finances for anybody, or work for a company and manage their money. So I always saw myself doing that, and ever since I haven't changed my mind. So I've been on top of that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I love math too. I mean, at some point I thought like before in high school, I remember through high school and then even in college, I'll never forget that. I would always be like, yo, if I could just take math for a whole semester, I would do that. Like I loved math. I love math that much. I was like, I would rather take math a whole semester. People look at me crazy. I'm like, math, there's nothing hard about math. Like it's just numbers. There's no write me a prompt. Like let me get context clues. Write me a bibliography. Like I hated doing all of that. I would love to teach math because like for me it was just so fun and so easy to understand. At one point I was like, oh, I would like to teach math, but I never pursued it though. But I love numbers too.
Yeah, numbers for me is just, it's like you said, it's very easy to understand. Many people struggle with numbers. I'm not sure why, but for me at least, it's better than reading and any other type of history. For me, it's just it's right in your face.
But the one thing I hated in school, I hated writing essays, bro. Like, did you like writing essays?
I didn't like it as much, but when I had to do it, I got it done immediately, and I always had a decent grade. So.
You know what? The hardest part of writing an essay is starting to write the essay. Yeah. Like literally, like I hated like I would get assigned to the essay and everything, and I'd be like, oh, like this is. I remember getting the assignments and stuff. I'd be like, yo, I do not want to do this, and it would take me forever. And I'll sit down on a computer and I'll stare at my screen. I was like, yo, I don't know what to write about. And the passion was just not there. I was like, yo, I don't want to write about this. But then as soon as I just like sucked it up and I was like, all right, let me just start typing. I'll just start writing and then I'll be on a roll from there on out.
Yeah.
But I was like, I hate, bro, like English. English was not my strong suit. And I did not like writing. I did not like making essays or anything like that, which is ironic because now, like after like school and everything, like now, like reading books and stuff like that, like now I like writing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic, but like now I actually like to write. Like when I'm reading a book, like I like to take notes and stuff like that. So like the tables have turned in my life.
That's good. That's good to hear. It's something that I really noticed that a lot of people should do is whatever you're lacking on, whatever you're weak at, focus on that, because that will boost like and balance everything in your mind in general. Like, for example, like me, for reading too, I struggle with reading, but I improved it a lot. I started reading more, writing more, and right now I feel like I'm at the level of where the numbers are at and everything. So
that's true. So how long were you in school? How long did you do it for?
Well, I started off. It was a little complicated. After high school, I wanted to start immediately, but unfortunately, I couldn't do that just because of the financial aid. There was something happening with my financial aid in general, so we had to delay that. And then I finally went to Valencia College, which is obviously here in Orlando. I started there, and I started pursuing my degree. And I did little by little, just because I worked at Toyota at a car dealer, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So I started doing that, and I realized that I was doing the wrong type of degree because there's AA and AS. I
Mm-hmm.
was doing AS,
Also to
thinking,
like finish early.
yeah, that's to finish with just your associate's degree
Mm-hmm.
in college in general. So I was doing that the whole time until I went to the one of the guidance counselors in Valencia, and she told me, "Oh, you're doing this one, not this one." So I had to extend my whole course in general and stay a little longer in school. However, that did not discourage me. I continued. I went to pursue it, and I pushed myself more over that limit, over that threshold, to work and study full time
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to finish school as soon as possible, and two, I wanted to start my career in general. So right after I finished, finished my AS and continued my AA, I
Mm-hmm.
had to move down south. And of course, like I said, that didn't discourage me at all. I still continued in Valencia online full time.
While you
Had,
were in Miami.
yeah, full time work, full time school online. So I did it all in general. And that did not stop me from continuing my career, pursuing what I wanted to do. And finally, I finished Valencia and transferred over to FIU, which is actually the shirt that I'm wearing.
Oh, nice.
I went to Florida International University in Miami to study finance, and I was there for a while, for about a year, year and a half or so. And then we ended up moving to Orlando, and that's when I transferred to UCF. And finally, in May of 2020, I finished with my degree. I was so excited, so happy that I finally finished after the hard work of full time school, after
Mm-hmm.
the hard work of full time work, after the full time church as well. I
Mm-hmm.
finally completed my task and my objectives of what I wanted.
I know, like a lot of the times, like that I noticed when you were in school, like I remember sometimes we would go out and stuff, and I thought it was just funny because like sometimes we would joke about it, but like we'll be like, oh yo, let's go out, let's do this, and then you'd be like, well, I'm like you would have a plan, you said, oh, I'm gonna study like in the morning or something, so like, and you did that like very frequently, so like when we would go out or we would want to do something like you had a specific time to like where you would coordinate everything. So like, how did that work out? Like, how did you like organize yourself to like so that you're able to have everything organized with like obviously with school studying, making sure you're on top of it. Like literally almost every time like I would like mention something, you would be like, oh, I'm studying. I was like, bro, this guy's studying 24 hours a day. I was like, are you doing anything else? So how did you like organize, like work yourself around everything?
Well, for one, there was a lot of stuff I had on my plate, right? I had work, I had school. I obviously had my wife as well, which I had to make time for that to, spend time with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I had church. So there was many things on top of that. So when it came to managing my time to study and including everything else on the side, I just one day sat down. This was literally in Miami when I lived down south because I had to. I never really focused on reading textbooks, but
Mm-hmm.
once I studied in FIU, it was much harder, much difficult than Valencia. That's when it starts like getting more advanced, where you have to actually read the chapters. Those 20 pages a day, you had to do it, and it was rough. It was rough. Don't get me wrong, but you learn so much. If it's interesting, you'll be even more into it. If
Mm-hmm.
it's not, you're just gonna have to suck it up and put up with it.
Force yourself to like learn.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it was. There were some classes where it was like that, and I had to put up. I had to focus and write my notes and study and etc. So when it came to that, I just sat down and I put my foot down to myself and told myself I need to get serious about this because if not, I'll drag it and drag it and drag it. I'll probably not even be graduating
Mm-hmm.
in May. You never know. So I ended up sitting down, organizing every single thing I had. I'm gonna do this at this time. Once I'm done with this, I'll do this. On my next test, I'll do A, and then I'll do B, and then I'll do C. And you just plan it within the span of the time that you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
When you wake up and the time you go to sleep. And I did that every single day. I planned it out every day. That way, there's no type of disorganization. That way, there's nothing intervene. And if there is, you just do a plan B. You always have that plan B aside. You always try to make time or manage stuff that comes into your way. So that's what I did. I just organized it in a planner. You could do it in a planner. You could do it on a piece of paper. You could do it on your phone. You could do it anywhere. As long as you find a place where you can manage that time. It's very crucial that you do that if you want to, if you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah. So you had like, did you have a planner or like, so every single day you would have do you have a planner where you would like literally the whole day like sketch it out, or did you just do it like off the top of your head?
Many times I did it on the top of my head. I'm really good with having things in my mind. So whenever that did happen, I just manage it with my head. If not, I always I'm a very tech guy, so I always use my phone. I always have everything written down on my phone, and I always reviewed it. I always reviewed it at the time. And whenever, there was stuff that changed, I deleted it on my phone, fixed it, and etc. But I always had it on my phone, but I always had it in my mind as well. I always basically I changed the gear in my mind. Literally, I changed the gears where to focus and memorize things, just like how music is with chords and notes. If you excel in music, and I encourage many people to learn music because that develops your brain a lot, and you'll see the difference of how smart you were back then to how smart you are now. If you learn music, it helps your mind. So music was definitely a huge part of time management too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and what do you mainly play? Like what do you play most of your time?
Well, mostly currently right now, I've been playing a lot of piano, and that's due to church in general. That's church in general. I just been playing a lot of piano because it was needed. I play whatever they need the most because they have acoustic players, they have drummers, they have bass players, they have all those instruments, but they needed piano the most. And from other people, and they just told me, you sound really good playing the piano, so I took advantage of that. I just pursued playing piano a lot more and focused on that. My favorite one's the acoustic guitar, but I would say I excel more in the piano, honestly.
That's true. And that's crazy. So like when you would you're planning your day, like what would you do first? Like when it comes to all the tasks for the day, like do you just like chill or something like that, or like whenever you did have to study, like did you wait like for a specific time to study, or when would you choose to actually do like the actual like the difficult part, like the studying and stuff like that?
Well, for me, when it comes to studying, that was by far the most difficult one because you have to, like, literally, you're the one that has to do it. You don't have somebody as supervisor. You don't have a manager telling you, hey, do this. It has to be you. And that's your money you're paying with school. It's coming out of your pocket, or the government with you, of course. So that's when you have to put your foot down, and I put my foot down with that. I started off directly studying. Why? Because I wanted to get the hard stuff out of the way immediately.
Okay.
I wanted to brush that off. I wanted to eliminate that. I wanted to take that out, and I just focused on studying first because once that's done, I'll have that stress-free, relaxed moment where I could just not even worry about that, because that was the most difficult one. Studying. For everybody is studying, sitting down, reading 20-page chapter, 30-page chapter. Like, that's not easy.
Yo, I couldn't do that, bro. I don't know. Like, for me, like when it came to studying, like I would do everything else. I would be the opposite. I would do everything else except study. I'd be like, oh, yo. And it got to a point where like I had to physically, I remember like there were times where I would literally have to like drive out, go to like a cafe or something. Like I know some people do that. Like people go to Starbucks or something like that. Like I had to actually like go out to like study. Like in my house, I'm too relaxed. Like there's too many distractions, and I have to force myself to go out. But I started doing that same exact thing, like what you were mentioning. Like that's a good point that we should follow as well. That we've got to learn how to, like most of the time, how we can just like learn how to do the hardest things first. Like when I'm starting the day, For example, I have like a morning routine that I study and I do things in the morning before I leave, and I have to do that before I go. You know, like before I start my day, I have to do a specific amount of things, because if I don't do it, then the day will start and then I'll get backed up and then I won't get it done. So I started building the habit. It's like, all right, whatever's the hardest thing to do, like I need to do that. And it's like building the habit of learning how to manage around that. Like it starts off with like what you mentioned, like thinking of what's the most important thing right now. Like what's like right now, what is the most important thing that you need to get done? And then just get that done. Like just start with that and then work your way out. And literally like I felt the same way. Like sometimes when I'm recording, or when I have to prepare a certain material to teach, like elsewhere, like as soon as I'm done and I write everything out and then I give that teaching or I share whatever I had to share or whatever, something like that, bro, I feel amazing afterward. I even schedule, like once I'm done, I even schedule time to just play video games and just relax. I'm just like, yo, this is my time to relax. Like this is my celebration period now. Like you get that weight off your shoulder, because before, like I remember like in high school and stuff, I would wait until the end of the day, and then there's a constant pressure on you the whole day. So it's like, oh, you're having fun throughout the day, but then in the back of your mind, you're like, damn, bro, I gotta get this done. And then you just have that pressure constantly. And then I realized like now it's like, nah, like I'd rather just get it out of the way and then be free for the rest of the day.
Exactly. And something else I wanted to mention that's very important, because there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of things in studying or work, there's a lot of work, you may work overtime or etc. Something that's very crucial that I say many people just blow over and don't realize it is workload, the overload of work, the overload of studying. And many people don't notice that they need to take breaks between those times. It's very, for me, like when I studied, I studied for long periods of hours. However, between those long periods of hours, I always took at least like a 5-minute break, go to the somewhere to eat, or somewhere to get a drink or something, or speak to a friend, or speak to my wife. I find some type of break. Why? Because that just like that's like a relaxed moment where you just relieve some type of stress and some eye strain of focusing on one thing. And if you overwork yourself, if you do so many things all together, that's very overwhelming, and you'll feel that burden on top of you. And for me, it's very important that everyone should seek some type of break between increments of breaks between like some studying, some work, whatever you have in your task in general.
That's true. And it was like and it's good to do that. I think it starts off with like what I said. It starts by like asking yourself what's the most important thing, and like going from there. And I know like right now, especially like right now, like my goal for this next season, like for season 2 is and I was talking to you about this before we were recording, but like my goal for season 2 is like, now that we're like in this summer era and most of us have a lot of free time, a lot of time to relax and stuff, I think it's a perfect time for us to take a head start and like start putting work, instead of doing what everybody else is doing, which is just relaxing, which is good to relax. Is like what you said, it's good to take breaks, it's good to relax. And what should be the goal, the main goal, is that you're still taking action, you're being proactive. Like for me, like there's times where I feel overloaded sometimes, and I purposely throughout my day, I'll schedule like in my actual planner, I'll literally put like at this time, like I'm just doing nothing. Like I literally put like at this time, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna be on my phone. Like I'll play video games, whatever, and I like purposely schedule that. So it's good to schedule your resting time. Like schedule your resting time, but don't let it be the opposite, where it's like you have more resting time and then you have to schedule when to put in work. It should be the opposite. You should always be trying to put in work, always trying to grow, always trying to like do the hardest thing, and then schedule time to rest, to kind of like reset. Like to do that, you know what I mean? And like that's what I want to like do for this season, and kind of focusing on managing our time a little bit better, learning. That's what I was asking you, like there's a lot of things that we have to focus on, because now the biggest challenge over the summer is learning how to manage our time. It all starts with that, like learning how to manage our time and how we can really maneuver around everything. Now with the free time, like what are we gonna do, and learning how to take ahead on that. Because if we're able over this next season to all move forward together, all take action, find our passion, do something on the side, especially if we're at home and like we're not taking school or anything like that. We don't have that many classes. It's a perfect opportunity to like say like, hey, what do I like to do? Where's my passion? And start doing that, and just like
Exactly.
see where that goes. You know what I mean? But yeah, what's your passion other than finance and numbers?
Well, other than finance and numbers, is definitely serving the Lord. That's definitely one of my passions. I'm assuming you as well, of course. We just have to seek something in general, and for me, it's just worship, playing the music for the Lord Himself, and worshiping in general. I feel like for me, that's one of the major passions I have, because that's something that's just part of my life, part of me. And that's exactly how any type of thing, any type of hobby, any type of a passion that many people have, is to have it a part of your life. Like, it's part of you, and make it for you, because don't do it for other people, don't do it for your parents, don't do it for your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, nobody. Do it for yourself, and only you, because something that you enjoy is for you, and you'll see the results in your career as well. Because something that, for example, like me, maybe I'm studying finance, maybe I could go and pursue something in music with finance. So like it all just connects together at the end of the day. You could find that passion, that hobby, plus what your career is, and just mix it together. And I feel like that hobby, whatever you focus on other than your career, something that's passionate, is basically a part of your stress relief right there. Music is a stress reliever, in my opinion. Same thing with video games. It's a stress reliever for many people. So yeah, that's another passion I have. Video games as well. So, playing games with friends and having fun. That's something I enjoy to do as well. So that's what I say.
Yeah, like for me, I think it's a good point for us to learn from, is learning to like just like don't give into the pressure. Because for me, for example, when I thought about like I wanted to start a podcast, so on and so forth, a lot of things came to my mind. And like this world, like our society, does a really bad job of like influence, like giving us that bad influence or pressure of thinking like, oh, like we got to make money out of this. And I know in the back of my mind, like my goal is obviously my life goal is to do what I love, like that everything that I do is revolved around my passion, so that I'm obviously working towards that. And I think what's cool is that I learned to like not hate what I do, like when it comes to my job, I learned that, what, this is where I'm working, I'm gonna make the best of it, I love it. And I'm still gonna do something on the side that I love even more, and then just work on that. And
Yeah.
I think that what that did was like release some pressure, because a lot of the times we think that we gotta like quit our jobs and leave everything to go all into something that we love to do. And when we do that, we get pressured, and then there's a lot of peer pressure, and then you're more focused on like you need to get money to obviously sustain yourself, and there's a lot of pressure there. So I think it's good most of the time, especially if we have jobs already, to just love what you're doing, make the best of it. And then if you have a passion, like something that you like to do on the side, like especially now over the summer, let's invest in that and spend some time just working on that. Even if it's a few hours a week or a few times a week, like just take out time to just grow in that area, whatever you love to do. And I'm pretty sure, obviously, if it's your passion, you're probably already doing that. So it's all about like purposely scheduling it and working towards growing that. And that way, you get to still have your job, you get to still have something that you're financially sustaining yourself, while also having your passion, and you pretty much get to be more free. You get to enjoy yourself more, because there's no pressure of like, dang, I gotta use this to pay bills. You're not worrying about that. You're just like, I don't care where this goes. I'm just gonna have fun with it. Exactly. And you learn to enjoy it more. So it's I think a good goal, like for most of us, is to like find something. Like if you don't have a job, like find something to do on the side. Like find a good like side hustle, or find a job, and then also make the goal of having like a little project on the side, like whatever I like to call it a passion project, like just something that you love to do, and make a plan to just every day throughout the week, just invest time in growing in that area, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. Like for me, for example, I invest at least between 30 minutes to an hour every day on my passion. And then now, usually when I'm at work, I'll invest more time. I'll be researching stuff every day, and it's just me investing that time. And I make sure that I spend a specific amount of time on my goals, on my passion, because my plan is to grow in it, and wherever it goes, like that's where it'll end up. And I'm just making the best of it right now with the intention of, hopefully taking it to the next level in the future. So I think over the summer, that's a good thing to focus on is learning. Find ask yourself, what are you passionate about, and invest time in it, and remove the excuse of like, oh, I don't have time, like I don't have time for this, because a lot of us all have different responsibilities. No matter what, we all have 24 hours in the day. So it's up to us to like ask ourselves how we can manage that better. And I've even realized this myself. Sometimes I play video games, and sometimes I play too much. So then the next day I'll be like, dang, like I'm doing too much and I feel stressed out. And I realize it's like, no, like it's because I'm spending too much time in one specific area. Like something else that I like to do is, teach the drums, for example. And I'm getting more people wanting to learn and stuff. And I'm thinking, crap, like I'm going to have to take out more time throughout the week. And obviously I love to do it. Then I'm thinking it's like, I immediately in my mind tell myself, okay, if I'm adding more, that means I'm going to have to take something out. It means I'm going to have to cut something out to be able to bring that in. So it's learning how to manage your time, learning how to prioritize and say, okay, what's really valuable, what do I really love to do, and how can I invest time in that,
Yeah, of course. And something that many people lack on, from what I see as well, is when it comes to finding a passion, why not give it a shot? Do a YouTube channel, do songs, play the guitar, do something with makeup, do whatever you need to do. Find that thing, because it's always worth a shot. It's better to try than not to try. If you don't try, where is that gonna lead you? Nowhere. But if you try, you could have a path to somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say try it out. You never know. You could get there, and you don't know it today, but maybe in the next 5 years you could see the results.
That's true. Yeah, and it's like you just gotta go out there and just go for it. Whatever it is, just like I said, don't go into whatever you love to do with the intention of, oh, I need to make this a job right now. Because if you go into it with that mindset, you'll have all this pressure and you'll have all this fear built up, and like you'll be too scared to go into it. So don't think of it like you're going into a job. Think of it, you're just going into what you love to do. So and don't try to follow what other people are doing. Like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel just because I see other people doing YouTube channels and that looks cool. Like, think of it has to start with your passion. Like, what do you love to do? And then once you find that one thing, and it's something that you're already doing, you can't have a passion for something you haven't done yet. At least from what I think, like you can't like it's something that at least that you've seen or you're involved in or you would like to try, or that you have tried, and it's something that you actually really enjoy.
Yeah.
And once you find that one thing that you love to do and you would enjoy doing every day, then you have to ask yourself, okay, how can I start growing in this? And then once you find the answer to that question, then start investing time in that every single day. I like for me the golden time, at least minimum, I think 30 minutes to an hour every day in your passion is the goal that you have to work towards, and find wherever you need to fit that time in, whether it's before you go to your job, before you start your day, or if for you it works better at the end of the day at night when you're done with everything, whatever. Find that time slot, get a planner like you were saying, or just look at your day and break it down, say, where can I fit 30 minutes or an hour into what I love to do? And if you can't fit 30 minutes to an hour in what you love to do, then you have too many things in your life that you shouldn't be doing. Yeah. And you need to be taking them things out. You got to take everything out and fill your stuff up with stuff that you love to do, so that you don't get overwhelmed anymore. And you can live a life where you're fulfilled and you're just like, man, I love what I'm doing every day. I'm just making the best of every day.
Of course. Absolutely.
True, man. It's some crazy stuff. I'm excited for this season, and a lot of things that I want to do. I just want to invest. At least one of the action plans I'm having is, like I said, is learning how to invest more time in that and growing. And over the next few weeks, I just want to just invest more time in that and doing different things to stay active, reach out to others, and just start making a difference in each other. What are your goals? Like, with do you plan on taking music anywhere?
When it comes to music, right now I'm just using it for the Lord. I just go and serve, and I just do it mainly for Him. However, that doesn't stop me from obviously continuing growing in music. Right now I'm just want to focus on my career, to build my career, and from there, hopefully in the future we could start something with music that involves, maybe doing a whole school or something. You never know. I want that experience in the real world first, to see how it's gonna go, especially with finance, because I want to involve finance. I enjoy any type of financial assets, anything that includes with finance. I want to involve that. Why? Because that's my career, and that's also what I study for, and it's part of my passion. I like finance. So when it comes to that, I would say just grow my career in finance. Obviously start somewhere small, because as soon as you get out of school, you're not gonna get the top notch job that you're gonna get, but you could grow from the bottom to the top, and from there, once you build your career and gain experience and know how the corporations work, and how working at a big company works in general, then that's when I could start pursuing what I like to do. Especially revolving music. I want to start my own school. I want to start teaching people and getting them involved with music, because that's something that everybody should try at least. It's so fulfilling having that knowledge of music, and having music within you, in your soul, in your heart, definitely boosts your immune system in general, boosts your whole life to a point where you learn so many new things. And that's what I seek to do in my goal. Just start building my career, then focusing bringing music in with it. So
That would be pretty cool. I know, like, a lot of the times, like, we be like, sometimes I'd be thinking like, yo, we should be on Shark Tank sometimes. Like, when we think about like the different ideas that we have sometimes, like what's that one, like that sushi restaurant they're thinking about doing?
Oh yeah, like a world-class sushi restaurant from like everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if that exists. Sometimes I think about like, because like in this point in time, there's always something out there. Like, I'll think in my mind, I'll be like, oh, yo, it'd be cool to do this, and then I'll look it up and it already exists. Yeah. So it's like, I was like, dang, man. So that's why, like, that's also why it's so important to like find what you love to do, and then like just create something out of it, and then just go all into it, because the longer you wait, the quicker someone else is gonna jump on that opportunity and then pass you. And I realized that quick. And that's why, like, I wanted to just start this podcast, and I just wanted to, help others and start speaking with others and spreading a message to others to grow and be their best self and be better. Because I know the longer I wait, every day that passes by is another day that someone else is getting ahead. It's another day that someone else is taking advantage. So I want to be the one that's taking that extra step. And all of you guys, everyone who's listening, should have that same mindset, that over the next few months, over the next summer, every day that you don't do something, every day that you're just laying back, like I said, it's good to rest, and it's good to schedule time into your calendar. So schedule that time, and let the majority of your time be investing in being your best self every single day. Like, always aim to be your best, and don't get tired of aiming to be better every day. Ask yourself how you can be better. That's the goal to being as wise as you can possibly be, is asking yourself, how can I be better? Because we'll never know the most, we'll never be the best. So the best thing we could do is aim to be as close to that as we can be until the day we die, to whatever day that happens. Like, always aiming to get as close to that as possible. And I realized that. So like, there's ideas like that sushi idea that we had. What's the other one? I had to be honest, what was crazy, and I have the notes in my computer to prove this. I showed my wife this because I feel like if I would say anything, like, nobody would believe me. But so like in December of last year, I was I stumbled upon like this article. I did it at my job, and it was like a learning type of material, and I was learning like different things, taking notes, and it was actually pretty cool because it kind of helped me structure out like an idea that I had, like podcast wise, and also like other stuff, like things that I was thinking about doing, different ideas. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do this. And I actually wrote everything down. This was in December of last year, and I wrote down like the goal, like my mindset, what I wanted to create was like something where you can, like where people can like listen to things quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times I take it from my perspective, like when I'm driving, or when I'm doing stuff, like I don't have time. I don't have time all of the time to be listening, like to either listen to something long or to watch like a long video. So most of the time, like we're like every day we're moving quicker. So I noticed it's like, dang, like it'd be cool if we create something or have something where people can just go into and just listen to quickly, you know, like little snippets, little something that's like a quick thing to either watch or to listen to. And I had that idea. I was like, dang, it'd be cool to create that. 3 months later, I get an ad, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you've heard of this app called Quibi.
No.
So you never heard of that app? Yo, I look up this app, and I'm not throwing shade. Please don't sue me. All right, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this a weird coincidence. That like I look up this app Quibi, and it's exactly that. Like I download the app and everything, and it's exactly that. Quibi literally is like an acronym for quick bites. Yeah. So it's literally like an app where there's like celebrities, and they have like their own mini shows. So it's everything that's on that app is videos that are 10 minutes or less. Really? So everything on there is just like things that you can capture, like quick videos, stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. But that was the most perfect example of exactly what I'm mentioning, that like when you have an idea or something that you want to create, you've got to jump on that as fast as you can. And even if it fails, like fail forward and just keep trying and go until you succeed. Because if you just like leave it in the back, then stuff like that happens where it's like, dang, like, wow, like I'm not saying they stole my idea, but it's like, if I would have like jumped on that sooner, what could have happened? You know what I'm saying? So that's like advice that I want to spread to like everybody. It's like, if you have an idea, if it's something that you would love to do, like just jump on it. Like don't hesitate anymore. Like if you're listening to this, like jump on that. Like jump on it as soon as you can. If you have an idea right now, literally right now, if something is coming to your mind as I'm mentioning this, grab a notebook or grab your phone, go on your notepad or grab your pen and just write down what you would love to do, an idea that you have, something that you'd love to create. Leave the comments below if you have something. Actually, don't leave the comments below because somebody might steal your idea. So, but write that down and then write your plan to make it happen, and just go with it. Like just run with it, and let this summer be kind of like your test run, your trial run of just trying that out. And if it doesn't work, then you have an experience that has helped you grow. And if it does work, then you just took a leap of faith that is going to take you somewhere higher. So either way you will benefit, either way you will grow, either way you will learn.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank you guys all for listening. Very awesome episode. Thank you, Kevin, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Welcome back to season 2, and I'm glad to have you guys here. And we're gonna be jumping into a lot of things over the next few months, and I'm really excited to really talk about all of these things, and just really just start growing together and make the best of it as much as we can. You guys can follow my page at Go.M.A.D. Go.M.A.D official on Instagram. You can also follow me on Twitter at Chris Go.M.A.D and on everything else. And make sure, if you're watching this as well, if this is something that has impacted you, don't forget to just subscribe, share this with someone else who you feel like might impact them, and just spread that to someone else. And you never know what a simple link can do to make a difference in someone's life. So the more that we invest in ourselves and invest in others, we continue to grow and we can all go mad. I'll catch you guys in the next one.